Hi, Carolyn. It's Lindsay. I'm going to go ahead and start with your week 2 critique. And you've said to be nitpicky and harsh. Okay, and you're from New York, so you've got tough skin. So, excuse me, I am going to try to do that, okay? Okay, so, and you said you're more of a lifestyle shooter. You're not, a big shooter of elaborate prop setups. And I'm not either. The whole idea of the prop idea is just to kind of get you thinking out of the box without having to spend elaborate time trying to make a setup, I guess. Okay, so with your first shot, so looking at the straight out of camera one, what I would have done if I was after this is I would have moved this, and it's all right how it is, because you can crop this out, but I would have moved this right here in the background. The door is a little distracting, but saying that, I'm assuming that you shot from this angle because there's like a bed over here and maybe that was too distracting, because if it was me, and what I can see is that your light source is over here, and so I would have moved her around to get better light on her face, or I would have used, at least if you're going to shoot from this angle, to have a reflector, and that's all easy to say when you look at it in hindsight, but shooting indoors and lifestyle still does take some slight planning, because this definitely would have been a better shot had you either had a reflector on this side, or you had her at it, or you were shooting her from a different angle, because like I said, obviously I can see that the light source is over here, but it's left her dark here, and from what I can tell, it's not super focused either. And I do lifestyle as well, and home shoots are hard, but like the big deal for me is that there's the heavy part of the subject is in focus, and so and I can't totally tell. It looks okay. So yeah, for me, I guess what I'm saying in the whole of it is that I would need to move this, and maybe had an additional, reflector, or like I said, had moved her towards the light source so that the lighting would have been a little bit better. It's not a bad shot. It's just not a great shot. And when you are shooting and you've got clients, you want great shots. Those are the ones they buy. So yeah, it's just a matter of lighting is key, and it would have made this image a little bit more dynamic, and also, if she had a little bit more emotion, at this moment she's just kind of halfway in between, and you that would have taken time, just sitting there and letting her rock, and maybe talking to her, and like I said, turning her around the other way so that you could really get that light. It would have been a little bit better. And as far as the edit, it looks a touch too warm. Especially, you can kind of see through her skin. Her skin looks a little bit yellow with that warmth put through. It's good. It's good to have a bit of warmth, but I would have taken it back off of her face just a little bit. But yeah, okay. So there's me being nitpicky. Details. Okay, and then the next shot. So I really like this. And by the way, this fits the bill from what I was saying, picking, you picked the hat and the horse, and, kind of picked it up with the props as far as that goes, So yeah, that you did well there as well, and working with that at home. Okay, so, and shooting out and about, and this is great. There was another person who did a hardware store, and it makes me want to go do stuff like this. I need to go to the library and sit my kids with these big, you know, huge bookshelves of books, and I love the leading lines and the repetition of this stuff here. And this is really great of her looking, and this is a good light source. I like this. My problem with this is here, because we've got burnout here, and I guess if I was shooting it for a client, let's say, I probably would have done a composite of this. I probably would have exposed for this and then and put that in. Excuse me. And I, you know, as I've kind of looked through your images, I keep seeing something really soft about them, and I do think that that is your lens. I don't like the 35 millimeter lens, and I feel that's because it creates too much of a soft image for me. I use my 50 a lot, and I still feel like that's pretty soft. And I like, because see, I'm looking at this, and maybe it's because I can't see it in detail. Excuse me. You know, I mean, I guess, yeah, that she is in focus here, and maybe it's the editing, I'm not sure, but there's just something like a touch too soft, and maybe it's because, I think it's because this right here is all soft back behind her. This is great soft, but for some reason, it's just like this partial too soft, I don't know, and I can't really kind of put my finger on it, and I'm sorry, I know that doesn't help, but, yeah, I would have liked this to be just a bit like this back through here. I'm almost positive it's the 35 millimeter. This just being a bit more focused, because I really like this shot, and I think it's sweet. I think it's great. I like that you put her over here to kind of catch both sides of it, and I like that. I really like that, and I like the simple editing that you did to it. So those are my couple bits there. And as far as this shot, I think for this one, I would have either cropped in tighter, or I would have sat her back on this one and then shot so that I had all of this following behind her. I realize you're trying to kind of get her reading the book, and that's good. It's this right here that's too distracting, this just bit of bookshelf that isn't there. And, you know, I know you said you're trying to kind of step up and get yourself, you know, to another level. And, you know, the key with that really, Carolyn, is to just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot, because before you know it, you're already picking apart the things that you go, I don't like that, I don't like that. And you get a little bit more detailed, whereas, you know, and I don't know how, I can't remember if you've said how long you've been, you know, you've been in business or whatever. So, you know, it's really a matter of just practice. I mean, that is the truth of it. It is just a matter of practice, because that is how you make yourself better, and also how you define what you like. When I was in school, all we could talk about was distracting elements, and so those are the things that you have to look for. When you look at your photo, you pick it apart and go, what is distracting about this photo? Because those little things add up to making it either an okay photo or a really great photo. So, that's something to just think about, as you're kind of, trying to push yourself, like I said, like this bright bit here, which is, a light source that you can't control, unless, like I said, you were to composite this image. I would have gotten rid of this as well. That's just, it's like, to me, it's another distracting element. I would have gotten rid of this right here, because you have her on the left side of the image, and our eyes are almost always drawn to the center of a photo. You get rid of those things so that our attention is drawn here to her. And that's also another thing in pushing yourself a bit more, is that you look at it and say, where's my eye drawn to? What is my eye taken to. So, yeah, those are just things to sort of think about as you're going through it all. Again, I do really like this photo. I do. There's just those couple bits in there that could, use a little bit to go with. Anyway, and I hope that's helpful. But like I said, it's definitely about continuing to shoot and just keep going and picking it apart yourself about the things that you don't like about it. And even if you think, well, but I like this photo, okay, well, you like it, but what would make it a great photo, that's just, and when you're practicing as well, like say that you were just practicing shooting it during this shoot, I would have shot her from every angle. I would have, just moved myself the whole entire time and, moved her around and I don't know if she's your child or not. I'm assuming she is, and that makes it a little bit more difficult because you know her and, you know her emotions and you're tied into those as well. So you can look at a photo and go, oh, I love it because she loves this book or, whatever she may be doing or the face that she may have with it. So, if you're shooting your kids and I don't know if you're like me. I mean, I'm constantly shooting my children. So I look at the photos and have to separate myself from the emotional part of it where I say, okay, well, what about the technical part of this photo and why is it great or not great? So yeah, shoot from every angle, move her around, let her get up and do her own thing, and just like constantly shoot so that you can look back and then and crop and recrop just to give yourself the options. So yeah, hope that's helpful. But great job shooting as part of the homework that you shot anywhere and it's great. So good job, and we are looking forward to your third week. Take care, Carolyn. Bye.